Good morning. It's Friday 5th of February and here we go. We're going to try and attempt a video course report. This is the first time we've done this. I say that second time really. Last week's attempt didn't go to plan due to excessive wind noise, but hopefully we've solved that problem and we'll see how it goes. So the plan with this is to replace the written document. Hopefully we'll give you some information in a much more user-friendly way, what we're up to, what the boys are up to out on the course, and conditions alike, and give you a little tour of the course at the same time. I'm sure you're all missing it. So I'm just heading across now towards the halfway hut, show you a job we've done over there. Just give you an update. 15.8 millimeters of rain last night. The course is still very wet. Everything's record breaking about the weather now, and hopefully if I can get the technology to work, I'll put some stats on the screen. The chart here then is showing you the rainfall for 2020 in the green bars with monthly figures and a total for the year of 1,028 millimeters. The red lines indicate the historical average according to the Met Office monthly, and for interest, the historical average annual total is around 565 millimeters. So last year was a whopper. This year so far we've seen 147 mil, which is almost 6 inches in January, and the first 5 days of February have seen another inch, or 25.8 mil. This next slide is interesting. It's comparing last winter with this one so far, and what you're looking at, any white areas on the map there are areas that have seen average rainfall. Anything purple and blue is seen above average rainfall, and below average rainfall was the brown colours. And as you can see, if you work out roughly where we are in the world, we are in and around 150% of average rainfall last winter, and we all know last winter was quite wet and difficult. This winter so far is the chart on the right hand side, so December and January, and it tells its own story, I think. So one of the jobs we've completed recently, which we've already told you about, is the renovation. Most of you've seen it, of the halfway hut. And moving on from there, we've now tackled the long-standing issue with the toilet. Those of you that don't know, and to be honest, why would you want to know, the septic tank from the on-course toilet runs back up here and it's underground down there. The problem we found was that the overflow for the water, excess water in this tank, was actually running uphill into a soakaway. So the first part of the pipe ran uphill, only slightly, but enough that when the water table was high and the tank was high, the drainage failed. So what we did is we added a new drain to run that water downhill, make sure it runs downhill, and solve the problem. We'd planned to put a soakaway in for this new drain to solve the problem. However, in installing the new pipe to a new location, what we came across, and hopefully this is going to show on the camera nicely, is a brick culvert drain, which I assume would trace back to the original manor house. This is a smaller version of something we've found out here on the course before, and what you can see there, the pipe on the right hand side is the overflow from the wastewater. The bricks that you can see the water running through, that's all new water. This was blocked further down the line, and because of the pure volume of water that's running out of this pipe now, we actually ended up installing a drain, a new outlet drain, which you can see on the right of your screen now, which runs all the way down and ties into some existing pipework, some existing drainage by the 12th green. The the volume of water here is quite shocking, and where that was going before is anybody's guess, but we've uncovered something there, tied it in. Great job. I've now arrived on the 12th hole. We had a short dry period as lockdown began, in which we took advantage of the better weather, and we've added some more drains. So we've got drainage lines right up to the green now, as you can see over my shoulder, and we've improved some of the other drainage lines further down the fairway as well. We've also now tied in the bunkers. Everybody will remember the bunker on the right of the 12th green there, which always fills up with water, so there's a drain line to that now, and that's the water's now getting away from that one, which is great. Hopefully what I'm going to demonstrate as I walk down this hole, if the camera the microphone picks it up, the drainage on the 12th has been a huge success. Just walking on this fairway, still not perfect obviously, the amount of rain we've been getting, but it's quite easy to walk along, firmish underfoot. It's a little bit splashy, but after 15 mil of rain yesterday. But when I get to some other fairways, I'll try and record that as a different, to show the difference in the sound, and hopefully don't fall over, because it's quite slippy out here in places. So one issue that we've come across with the drainage project on the 12th is that the drainage is so successful, it's getting the water into the ditches and down towards the lake so quickly that actually the existing pipework that we've tied into is no longer able to deal with the volume when it really comes down heavy and when we get a lot of rain. So what we're going to need to do is add a bigger pipe between the two ditches in the fairway, and then from the right hand ditch down to the lake. So we'll be adding a 300 mil twin wall, so that's a 12-inch internal smooth wall pipe that'll run all the way down to the existing chamber that we've got beside the 10th green, and that'll just make sure that we never see the ditches fill with water. So one of the jobs the boys are getting on with at the moment, here I am splashing around because of the wet weather, but we're already starting to think about the summer. And one job that you can tackle even when it's wet and you don't want to be out there here with too many big machines is setting sprinklers. So all the sprinklers on the golf course are being reset, their heights reset, just to make sure we get maximum efficiency when we're using the system in what will only be a few weeks' time, I suspect. So what this means is we dig up each sprinkler, get right down to the base. This is one we're just part way through. Lift the sprinkler, make sure it's sat at the right height. They sink over the years, plus the amount of top dressing we put on. Just get the sprinkler back to the surface level so we get a really nice efficient watering system. And there's one of the lads now, Luke, who is dewing the green. It's really important that we manage the surfaces every day, keep the dew off, which prevents fusarium in particular. We are reviewing and cleaning out as many ditches and drain lines as we possibly can. Obviously quite topical when it's as wet as it is, but this is an ongoing process. So we've gone a bit further with some time on our hands, where we're not moving heavy equipment around too much. So the ditches are all being cleaned through. You can get a view of that one there. But the other task is to dig and find the existing drains that were put in the late 90s, we believe. White Horse Contractors put some in the late 90s. And we're just digging and rodding and clearing and making sure these things are still working nicely. You can see a couple of joints there that we've replaced after rodding through these drains, and the results are pretty good. It means that we can see we're starting to run more and more water out of some of the old existing drains. One of the things we've found this year, we're on between 5 and 16 at the moment, is the pure volume of water. It's something that we haven't seen for many years, but the volume of water, we're finding old drains have started to pop up and work again, and I do mean old, I mean the old clay drains. So this water, we haven't found the source of it yet, but all this water running through here appears to be coming from under there somewhere. There's a bit more work to do to try and find out where this is coming from, but there's a few examples of this. I'll try and show you another one on the way back on the first. All just old drains. So here I am walking across the 16th. I said earlier on 12 the success that we had there. Walking across 16, it's just a different animal altogether. And what you can see, if I just flip the camera around, is that where I'm walking, I'm leaving footprints, and it's quite slippy. I'm losing my footing. It's just a completely different fairway for the 12th, and really shows the importance of adding new drainage to the golf course as we see the wetter and wetter winters that are likely to repeat in the future. So here we are on 17, and stunning day, I've got to say. But here we are on 17. One of the things I said earlier, we're uncovering drains, old clay drains, that are moving a lot of water off the course at the moment, and they've popped up purely because of the volume of rain that we've seen. These all look really positive at the moment because they're running nice amounts of water off the course. But the problem with these old clay drains is, in order for these to work, you've really got to get the ground at saturation point, because it takes so long for water to get from the surface through all that clay down to that pipe. And the difference between these old clay drains and the new modern plastic pipe drains with gravel over is simply that you get the water to the pipes much quicker. Just wandering across now to 14, across the 17th. Another job we've been doing up here, some more drainage and ditch clearance. We found that the pipe that runs from the top of the 14th to the ditch you see over my shoulder was blocked. So after trying our best to rod the pipe and clear it out, we ended up having to redig the line. You can see down there the old clay pipe that we've broken into, which runs down to the ditch down there, and this one will be replaced with a new 160mm plastic pipe to carry the water away from 14. This is obviously an ongoing job. What I'd hoped to show you up here was the ditch we cleared, the cross ditch on the 14th, nice and free of water and running, but unfortunately, as often happens when working in these conditions, which are far from ideal, overnight the rain has brought down part of the bank there, which has blocked the pipe run, and so this is now holding a bit of water back here. But that pipe run will be cleared. We'll get the pipe in the ground and reinstall and reinstate the ground, and then all this water will get away. Well, there you go, as if by magic, there's the pipe arriving, and the boys are on site now to clear this out and install the pipe. As I walk up the 14th, you can see the ditch between 14 and 17 has been cleared. In order to get to these things, first job we have to do is clear some of the trees and branches and cut back, tidy those things up, and you can see there's some stuff there that needs collecting when we can get out here properly. But this ditch has been cleared through. Again, quite a significant amount of water running down there. What you can see here is where the ditch used to be relatively straight, but the trees in the area were right in the edge and make it harder to maintain the ditch. So what we've done is reshape the ditch around the trees, which gives it a bit of character as well, much nicer. And here we are at the top, 17th green, and what we've done here is we've installed an overflow pipe for the pond, which is set at a level to try and hold as much water in there as possible. And the spoil that we've taken out from this ditch is Looks a mess now, admittedly, but this will be shaped. So the natural embankment we've got here will be extended all the way around, and it will blend off towards there. So this is one we'll update you about. Here's another of those drains that's popped up from almost nowhere. Another old clay drain. You can see it's half silted up, but water, the ground here's reached field capacity and above in the woods there on the right of the first, and this has started to run again. Great to see at the moment. Not a permanent solution by any stretch of the imagination, because that's a clay pipe half full of clay that is topped by more clay. So great for now, but this is another area where on the first we intend to stick some new drainage. So just to give you a staff update as I walk back down 18 and show you that, the new member of staff we took on, we appointed last year, started with us in January. Luke is doing really well so far, and we wish him all the best here. So we've got 6 members in the team at the moment, and we are advertising again for the seventh person that we require. We've got a handful of promising looking candidates to interview next week, hopefully. In other staff news, Ian Boothby, who is our head greenkeeper and joined us when he was 17, before my time, has been here for a whopping 18 years, has decided to move on, and will leave us in February. He's going to start his own lawn care business. I just want to thank him for his efforts on behalf of all the members over a very, very long time, and wish him every possible success with his new venture. I'm sure he'll do really well. That about wraps it up. Hopefully you're all safe and well. You might notice I'm a little bit breathless walking at times. That's not because I've become hugely unfit. It's just a result of the COVID. Unfortunately, we had it in our house over Christmas. It really does have an effect in the longer term, so stay safe, look after each other, and we'll see you all back here soon.